Hey everybody, this is Jonno, otherwise known as Jonathan. This is Super Cast Brothers, that podcast that we do with a new on topic episode. That guy's Lister, I think.
Yes, I am that guy. I'm also known as Lister. I'm also known as Zantok. Some people call me asshole. It just kind of depends
Oh
on the
yeah,
day of
that
the
checks
week.
out. And again, we are not alone today.
What?
We have a dear friend of ours that we have affectionately called the Cadbury cream egg of our group for the last 13 years.
Yeah,
It's
We've
a
known
hundred.
this guy since he was 11.
I don't know if
welcome
that's true.
Colton Chillzone to the podcast.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Nice to meet you.
This is Eric, our old
Eric the
pal, also known
Flame.
as Yep,
Yeah,
that's
Flamey
also
boy,
true.
Eric Jr.
Flamezone 17 from the old forum that we all got acquainted with each other on, Super Smash Brothers Mercurius.
Man, I haven't heard from you since you said that Camilla was your favorite Fire Emblem character. We just left you in a prison cell to rot.
My gosh, it's true. It's true. Not at all though,
Is
but
it? No, who is your favorite Fire Emblem character? That's curious. I'm interested in knowing that.
um, I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan. Um, it'd probably be like really stereotypical answer, but just Ike, just like Path of Race was the first game I played, and main character, just major bias. That one.
Wow, going with the big muscly man. What a typical
True.
male.
Wow.
Ike was a very solid and nuanced character with a very solid storyline in Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, so I can understand that.
And then he
On
took
top of that,
steroids in Radiant Dawn.
yes,
Pick
as
between
did
those games.
um. When was the last time, by the way? Because your name was Flamezone 17 when we first met you, and I think 2007 or 8. And how long has it been since you've last used that name?
Mhm.
Outside of our typical social circle.
I use it for like League of Legends and just yeah, not really like I don't really go on forums anymore if that's what you mean. Just like Twitter account, YouTube account, just kind of like my
Yeah.
throwaway username sometimes.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
did you
Yeah,
say
cool.
that you played League of Legends?
yeah,
That
once in a
podcast
while.
is canceled by everyone. We can't handle this
Uh,
trash.
I'm
Too
sorry.
toxic.
Well, I mean, I don't play as much as I used to, but it's kind of just my go-to name. I don't really have too many other usernames, whatever. Yeah.
Nice. Have you ever gone by Colton Chill Zone anywhere else?
Maybe
No.
Kavina or Austin Weens.
No.
Yeah, those
Hmm.
are those are characters from that Eric created for the Ultimate Tournament, which was like a collaborative role-playing story that we developed on starting on Mercurius and eventually brought into another forum that we were also a part of. So those are fun memories that we developed together.
I was mostly just like a kid that's kind of like out of his zone, I think.
Let's be
Zone, no
real.
pun.
Let's be real. We were all kids.
Yeah, I was
Oh
just
yeah.
like,
At
yeah, it's
least none of
embarrassing
us
times.
had a character called Waco.
I don't even remember who that is.
That was Fuzzy Dude.
Oh yeah, Fuzzy Dude. Holy cow, that's been a while.
Now, my favorite memories of Super Smash Bros. Mercurius were of Flame Zone and the Brawlinator open
Oh,
discussions. Those were nice old times.
you wanted to kill him.
The
But no,
prepubescent rage.
Yes. I was like, dude, chill. Chill.
You should have gave. I think you guys like gave me mod power or something. That's went like power hungry or something. I don't know.
oh, don't worry about that. I had some history myself as a mod and an admin on that forum. That was
Hard coding DK3 sucks into the admin CP.
yeah, it was a fun time.
I don't know.
It was a fine example of not giving a 14-year-old power of any meaning, and
I definitely relate.
I'm glad that we could all share in that,
Yeah.
except
Well,
for Lister, who was a sound-minded admin.
I had no idea what was happening. All I know is DK3 was like, hey, guys, what did you do? It's like, what are you talking about? What the fuck? I didn't do that. Who the fuck did
Oh,
that?
buddy.
And I was just like, Jonno, what the fuck? I mean, you're not wrong, but what the fuck?
There were some interesting moments on that website. I think it's funny. Now, first of all, I didn't expect this was how we're going to bring up our podcast. I'm sure that Eric would agree. But it's funny how little dramatic moments on a online community like that can mean so much when you're so young. Because it's just like drama in high school. It's things that everyone just kind of passively contributes to, or actively if you're me, and it just means nothing now. It's just such a little thing to look back on, and back when we were kids, that was the world. And there were worse moments like that, but there were also a lot of very positive things to pull out of that time, because we overvalued these experiences as much as we did at the time. Like, the three of us are still talking, for better or for worse, and that probably wouldn't have happened had we treated Mercurius like some sort of biblical Babylonian thing. So.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it did mean a lot to me, like that website growing up. Like just the whole idea of even just early internet days, like something that you wrote actually appearing on a website. It's like, oh wow,
it's
amazing,
still up too.
Right. Well, what form? Like he redid it how many times? But
I mean,
it'd be cool.
Sure. Like it's also there. It looks different because the site got, like, the forums that they were using got bought out by some of the company, but it's all still there.
Oh, like the old forum posts, you mean, and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. 13, 14, 15-year-old posts are on Mercurius.
That'd be kind of fun to run through those again, just like cringe and stuff, But,
oh yeah, and you'll be surprised. There's still a couple people who have posted on there as recently as last year.
Oh, there's like, where is everybody? Hey, like,
there's been a few discussions like that, and DK3's been long gone, and we butted heads every so often as he was the owner, and we were just kind of wondering where he was for long periods of time.
Yep.
When we were kids, and wondering why he kept redoing the website. It was a fun little thing to have, but at the end of the day, DK3 sucks was a little harsh to hard code into the system, considering DK3 brought us all together. We wouldn't be family if it wasn't Darthanian. So
I mean, I found it because of Kamek Guy.
Yeah, I know. Well,
yeah,
Kamek Guy's running a successful YouTube channel just like us now, so there's that.
Define successful. One of our 2 viewers is on the call right now.
Who's the other one? You want to give him a nice shout out?
They've asked me not to.
Okay. Have they really?
No.
Okay. Well.
It's Peppa Pig.
This is my favorite music. Anyway.
I know, but I'm curious. What a great starting point. I know it meant so much to us as kids and stuff, and even having this connection like this many years later just goes to show like we're of like-minded people. Definitely formative years for sure.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for all the drama that we mentioned at the top of the podcast, chances are you went through those years of, I would say, probably 12 to 17. You probably did worse than we did on an internet website. So there's that anyway. I was homeschooled. I'm out of that. I'm out of those troubles. It was a good time, and I might go back for a trip down memory lane when this is all over. But today, we're actually getting together to talk about a series the three of us are jointly passionate about.
Bubsy!
Bubsy 3D, yeah. One of the greatest video games of the past decade.
Of course.
They're the same creators that brought you Days Gone. A true classic.
Yes, sir. Oh, boy. But, no. Fire Emblem. In the guise of Smash, a hot button series for sometimes the wrong reasons.
No more Animu sword fighters. Boo!
Shenmue Sword Fighters, boo. Yes, but Fire Emblem is something that Eric and I bonded on early. Back in the Mercurius days, we would both constantly be sharing movesets. I can't remember if I'm pretty sure that I recommended Path of Radiance to you when we were kids, and you picked it up, and that was just kind of the start of everything. Yeah, it's hard to believe that was 15 years ago that game came out now.
Yeah, it's insane. And like the prices on those two games are astronomical. Like trying to buy Path of Radiance nowadays, like I'm definitely glad I bought it when I did because it's like a normal price back then. Now it's like $140+ used. It's brutal. So good though. If you get a hold of it, super recommended.
Absolutely. And since then, I'm guessing we probably played at least every other game released in the West. So yeah, it's just an addictive gameplay loop, and since then, I guess Lister also got into it. I'm not sure where you jumped in. Was it Awakening?
No, actually, it was before Awakening. After having Martha and Roy be in Melee, I got the Game Boy Advance game. I can't remember if it's Blazing Sword or Binding Blade, but the first one that came to America, Blazing Sword. I always mix them up because I think, oh, Blazing Sword, Roy has the fire. Nope, apparently his is Binding Blade. It's fucking weird. I hate it. It pisses me off so much. But I had a copy of that one on Game Boy Advance, but I couldn't get far into it because the saves were broken on it. So anytime I turn the game off, turn it back on, my saves are gone. I was like, well, what's the point in playing this game then?
It's like unbeatable, then.
Yeah. And then after Brawl, I got Radiant Dawn, and I played through a good chunk of it, but I got to a point where, because I wasn't bothering to save and reload if my units died, I got to a point where it was like, I did not have enough units to even bother trying to continue. It was just not going to happen.
That's such a bad place to be.
Yeah, and then I didn't play another game until, I think 2 years ago I played Awakening for the first time, and I'd watched an LP of it before then, and I've since watched an LP of Shadows of Valentia and all 3 versions of Fates. And then I finally got 3 Houses and beat all of its storylines last year. I haven't done the DLC, but I probably will at some point.
You watched all 3 routes of Fates?
And it was painful. It was
Why
very
did you do
painful.
that, man? Well, I guess I played them, but...
Because I wanted to have knowledge of it so that I could discuss it with people.
I guess.
Yeah, like our recent Smasher Dash with Kelly was enriched by your knowledge of all the different paths.
Yes.
So
Except Eric was talking about Fates and not 3 Houses.
Oh, okay. Well, there goes to show how much I was paying attention. I'm playing with a ping pong ball in my hand. Okay, so
But I mean, I would love for more Fire Emblem games to be remade and the newer systems, especially the ones that never made it to the West anyways. I just had to say, hey, for those of us that suck, can we please get both casual mode and free auxiliary battles for grinding in each one? Because some of us need baby mode. Hi, I'm some of us.
Intelligent Systems is like, well, we had a baby mode in Awakening.
Not that kind of babies. No more future baby bullshit. No more. I'm putting my foot down.
I loved it in Fates. They're like, there's a pocket dimension where you can bring your child for them to rapidly age into a teenager.
It's weird.
Like, oh.
Like, Awakening, okay, fine. They're coming from a future timeline, they're coming back in time. It's weird, but at least there's a decent explanation. Fates, what the fuck?
Yeah, like I can. Man. So you just kind of like shrug and go like, okay, sure. I mean, they just really want child units in the game in some form, even if it wasn't well thought out, right? You're like, Don't want to give marriage more weight, I guess, but.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, you and I, our favorite title being Path of Radiance, they had marriage and supports, but not children units. There's just a point where you don't need them, I suppose. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Just say the S supports in the marriage ship for the paired endings at the end of the game. You don't have to have it in the middle. Fire Emblem should not be Waifu Simulator 2019.
Yeah, and apparently, like Fire Emblem 4, like with Sigurd and stuff, like they actually had like 2 parts, like where like an actual time skip where it actually mattered. And it's like, no, that would be a way better execution than trying to have it both ways, you know?
Agreed.
Yeah. And well, at least you could romance Iago in Fates. I'll give them that.
No, you can't.
I know. But a boy can dream.
One day.
Never one day. Nevertheless, I think probably for all three of us, and definitely for most of the Western community in gaming as a whole, their introduction to Fire Emblem was through Smash Brothers.
Yep.
I would agree.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think you'd be a hard pressed to find somebody in America who was around during the Melee time. I'll say that. Somebody who was around during Melee, that their introduction to Fire Emblem wasn't because of Melee.
Yeah, like there will be some stray people who are older than us, 30, 40-year-olds who will say, "Oh, I knew Fire Emblem because of the OVA," and you're like, "Okay," but
I know Japanese and I imported the game so I could play it.
Yeah, it's something like that. But it's like the reason like Fire Emblem 7 came to the West is because of like the intrigue with the Melee character.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah. So Melee, I mean, later on, something to our chagrin, later would come to the Smash community's chagrin, was having its first advertisement character effectively with Roy, but at the same time, having Marth and Roy in Melee, and kind of revolutionized what Smash could do for outside franchises that are brought in.
Yeah.
Because like over time we saw like Kid Icarus and what was that?
I said yes.
Yeah, okay. I thought that there might have been more of a thought train there. My bad.
There was, but you moved on. I was just going to say that while it's true that Roy was technically our first promotional character being added into Smash because his game hadn't released yet by the time Melee came out, at the same time, it's a little bit different compared to other characters that got the same treatment because he was a clone. He's literally a bonus character that we got because they had a little bit more development time. It's not like, I don't know, Corrin,
Byleth.
At least Byleth, Three Houses was released. Fate hadn't been released in America yet when Corrin got added.
That's true. And we will talk about the controversy of like Corrin and Byleth's inclusion later between avatars and DLC and things like that. At the same time, though, just Marth and Roy's inclusion in Melee did open up that bridge for all of us. So you'd be hard pressed to find, as Lister said, somebody who wasn't introduced to them in the West through Melee.
Yeah.
Just opened the floodgates too, and like I feel like Melee sold like hotcakes, and everyone had Melee, and they're all exposed to this guy. Like who is this guy? And then just this gave the avenue for a birth of Fire Emblem in the West, and I think the transition to Brawl 2 was like fairly insinuous too. Like they moved Roy and then added Ike, and it seemed like the niche series got like its niche characters, and it was all fine and dandy, right?
Yeah.
Melee too, it's a perennial game. It's an evergreen game. It's still going strong today with the esports scene. It's very similar to Street Fighter 2, where it's going to be something that people consume in this community forever. So for Marth and Roy to be introduced with the game, at least up to the point of Ultimate, and there's going to be a lot of contention between those two titles, but the game in the series that revolutionized things for the better.
And Marth was one of the top tier characters.
Yeah. And and for us kids too, I mean, we could talk about who was cooler on the playground. Like Roy's cooler because he has fire.
I mean, obviously.
That sort of thing. Or Marth and Roy are brothers because we have no idea what kind of games they're from.
People who thought they were from the same game.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. How wrong you were.
Yeah, so it was fun building that lore on the playground too. Basically, they were, because of that era of mystery. They introduced something to America that other people could not, and that was the perfect opportunity for Nintendo to ship out. I'm not sure why they just quite didn't do it with Binding Blade first, considering Roy was much more prominently in it.
Because they didn't know he was popular in America yet. They had no time.
That's true. Blazing Sword. Great introduction. That was a great game. Then Brawl came around, like you said, with Ike. But then we moved to SSB4, and it was, as Eric was saying, it was kind of a niche series. We had two characters at a time. There were other cuts between Melee and Brawl, like Mewtwo.
Oh yeah. That meant a lot.
So from Brawl to SSB4 though, Fire Emblem got a considerable upgrade in terms of how it was viewed as a series with Awakening having recently revitalized Fire Emblem.
Oh yeah.
As well. So we jumped into from having 2 characters to
5
to 4 on the base game and 5 with DLC. Yeah, that's right. And then
More than
Ultimate
doubling.
expanded on that further. Exactly, with Byleth and Wheel Party and Crom is an Echo. So yeah, so nowadays Fire Emblem has gone from a very niche series to a mainline, and personally I would put it probably 5th in line behind the usual Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Kirby. Oh, and then Animal Crossing too. But basically, there's those 6 franchises that are kind of bubbling up as their top sellers right now.
Splatoon is up there as well.
Yeah, and good for Splatoon too, and good for Nintendo for actually developing something with a decent online infrastructure for once. So,
For once and only.
Yeah, Smash could use some help in that regard, but
God, Animal Crossing's online is so bad.
oh yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
really obnoxious.
Someone's entering your airport.
Oh yeah,
Here,
everyone
let's
has-
take
has to
10
wait.
minutes to load them in. Oh, you were in a menu? Oh, we gotta wait for you to get out now.
Yep. And then if there's an online connection, it's just like, oh well, I guess you lost all your stuff that you were collecting on this island.
Yep.
Luckily, our online experiences with Fire Emblem were much more straightforward and delightful over the years.
Yeah, not much online, but it'd be cool
No,
to take.
exactly.
There
It'd be
isn't
cool to take
online.
army. It'd be so cool to take. There was like some kind of weird online with fates with like your little town and stuff, but that really did not count.
It had Street Pass stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
I
that.
remember
And,
sending me stuff. I thought.
yeah, and Three Houses has the transference with your ambassadors that you choose.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's like such. That'd be so cool to do army versus army though. Let's be real. No,
It
that'd
would
be
be.
way cool.
Yeah, which there was in
7,
the,
right?
the GBA games. Yeah.
But you need
But-
like the link cables and all that fun stuff. Have fun with that.
Let's bring link cables back. Who agrees? But yeah, so Fire Emblem is a major franchise for Nintendo now, and it was credited to Awakening, but at the same time, we wouldn't have never had this chance for Awakening to sell as it did in America and revitalize the series had Melee not been there to introduce us to Marth and Roy
Yeah.
all those years ago, almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, it seems like almost like
unbelievably.
it seems like almost some kind of like some freak accident or like butterfly effect, because I'm sure they were kind of thinking like maybe they should leave out the Fire Emblem characters when they're bringing it to the bringing Melee to the West, like, but they're like leave them in, right? It
If I
doesn't
remember
matter.
correctly, that was a conversation. They
Yeah.
considered not including those characters in in localizing the game outside Japan because, well, who's going to know them? I don't know why they changed the decision, but I'm very glad that they did.
Yeah, it had such a rippling effect.
Mhm.
It's just
Like,
crazy
yeah.
to think about.
And we wouldn't have gotten anybody to replace Melee. It would have just been like, oh, we have 2 less characters. Imagine the competitive scene, people trying to play people from Japan, and now there's these 2 new characters that they don't know how to counter.
Yeah, that'd be a mess.
Yeah. I can't imagine a world where we would have gotten Marth and Roy and would have had James Bond and the polar bear from Ice Climber instead. I just can't believe we almost hit that.
Wow.
What a
That is-
different
Those
reality.
are the 2 timelines we have.
Yeah.
Okay, regarding like the sales of Fire Emblem, from what I understand, before Three Houses, it wasn't necessarily a gangbuster series. Even with Awakening, did do a lot, but it still wasn't like top tier. Maybe with Three Houses, it is. But what do you guys think about that?
I think that Awakening certainly had a cultural shift for the series where Chrom and Lucina were such majorly received characters to where they were crossing over into Project Cross Zone, had prominence in Smash 4, of course, and then of course the series cross filter over into Fire Emblem Fates as well. But I think what really did it for the series But besides Three Houses selling like hotcakes, uh, probably for number one, just with the big sales of the Switch, people were more willing to dive into the series. But on top of that, Fire Emblem also had Fire Emblem Heroes come out, which was this tremendous mobile game. Nintendo's greatest mobile success by far, a total cash cow. And I think that really helped expose Fire Emblem to its modern audience as well.
And not just Fire Emblem as a series, but the older games as well. Like, there's these characters that from the old games that I never knew really anything about, but they get added to Heroes, and I get to see them interact with the other characters. They get their own little forging bonds storylines, and just the art from them. Like, hey, I'm looking at this Ishtar person. They look fucking badass. Yes, I will bring their game. Oh, they're a villainous unit? Well, I don't give a shit. I still want to see them in their game now. Lewin. Yeah. I don't know who the fuck this Lewin guy is, but holy shit, some amazing art. Give me more about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
Absolutely.
That is a huge mobile game for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was playing it earlier today. Just the other day, I got Legendary Edelgard summoned for only 34 orbs.
Nice.
This game loves me.
Yes, it sure does. And how about Mario Kart Tour? What a great game.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna pass on the Detective Baby Rosalina. Thanks.
Okay, well, that's a discussion for another day. Maybe a future Smashtopia. But yeah, that's basically a history of Fire Emblem and Smash, and kind of beyond that. But there's a lot of controversy going around, and there has been for a while. I would say since Smash 4.
Smash 4 is definitely what caused it. Like there were a little bit rumblings with the base roster of Smash 4, but it was when DLC was releasing that it just exploded. And since Corrin was added as DLC, Fire Emblem was getting a very negative look in Smash. Before
Corrin,
go
ahead. Sorry.
Lucina muddied the waters a little bit when she was added into Smash 4, but Corrin started a lot of people getting pissed off.
Yeah, I think that was like the spark that kind of like led to this kind of online hive mind where just like too much FE in Smash or FE's ruining the game kind of mentalities and stuff. It's definitely with Corrin as DLC because like even going back to that time, like where DLC is being announced and like Cloud was like the previous one and everyone's like super hyped, and then they get slapped in the face with some character who like nobody even knows, not even the Japanese know yet,
Right.
Like, that was it just kind of it's over the time it's given Fire Emblem like this stigma with Smash for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's like no, go on.
Yep. Okay. It's interesting too. At the time I was pretty thrilled with Corrin, but that was through my very biased mind at the time for Fire Emblem. But beyond that, I think that it's just the trajectory, not necessarily the character. To where, like, if Corrin were included in Ultimate, and that was their first time included,
base roster,
and we
Ultimate.
had another character, yeah, exactly, a base roster Ultimate, no one would have really cared, and we probably would have bypassed, in my opinion, the controversy.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not necessarily that they got added; it's how and when. Because, like you mentioned, Eric, we had just gotten Cloud in DLC, and then the last two characters they announced were Corrin, for whose game hadn't released in America yet, and then Bayonetta, who supposedly won the ballot. I'm not going to dwell on that too much, but there was just a lot of a negative feeling towards the both of them. It's like, why are they being added in? This is craziness. Corrin is the only non-veteran character that is a first-party Nintendo choice that got added into DLC for Smash 4. Corrin, of all characters.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels weird to me. Stop doing these promotional things. This is what's making people upset. Wait till the next game. If Corrin had been added to Ultimate, I would not have given a single shit. I mean, like, oh, hey, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And even though I hate how Corrin got added, when it comes to actually playing as Corrin in Smash, I fucking love Corrin in Smash. Corrin is fun to play. I feel like they're a little bit less fun in Ultimate than they were in Smash 4, but they're still really fun to play. But there was
Yes.
always going to be that little bit of a sour attitude on Corn for me because of how they got into the game. It's not necessarily Sakurai fault. It was definitely Nintendo saying, "Hey, put this character in," because he even said in an interview that he didn't know if Corn should be added or not because he felt like even then it might have been a little bit too much.
Mm. No, that's
Right.
definitely fair. Like, yeah, like I don't know, especially with DLC. I feel like when it comes to DLC, people get a lot more like defensive or really like a lot more emotional when it comes to the characters that are released because it has to do with them actually waiting for a new character and like, oh, I waited this long and I got a character I didn't want and stuff
And
like
it's
that. And
characters that we're paying for,
yeah, and
like
paying
extra
for it.
characters that we're paying for, and for Ultimate characters that we're paying for without even knowing who's going to be in.
True.
If
And
people
then
knew that an arms fighter was going to be the first one added to the second Fighters Pass, they probably wouldn't have bought the full Fighters Pass. They would have bought the remaining characters individually.
that's fair too. It just it feels like an overly like an over advert almost like not something for the fans, but just something to create awareness. But that's also kind of interesting too because that's how Fire Emblem got its roots in Smash too. There's like that connection,
Right.
but still.
And sure, Korn and Byleth, they're not the only ones that got added into DLC to promote awareness and to try and get sales on a new game. Joker, the same.
Mm.
Hero
Yeah.
well, especially with the Dragon Quest
Core
11
Switch.
game, was very much the same as well. But the difference there, these were games that were already released for a couple of years. Well, Dragon Quest 11 was getting a remake, but still. But Corn was brand new. Byleth was virtually brand new. They better situation than Corn, but still
Yeah.
kind of did that same similar thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And Byleth still had some situations in which they were worse, where we have all these great characters, third party characters that are majorly hyped about. Where you go down the list, Joker, no one expected it, crazy.
It got me into
Hero,
Persona.
everyone expected, yeah, exactly, and wanted it very badly. Banjo Kazooie, on everybody's mind, but it was a total pipe dream until it happened.
Banjo
Terry, no
Kazooie was
one
one of
really
the big
expected it.
three.
Yeah, exactly. Terry, no one really expected it, but he has such a legacy in fighting games. Sakurai loves him, and it shows in the moveset, so he is really well received. And
Mm-hmm.
then we top it off with a first party character that is not, say, Dixie Kong or something with a huge legacy.
It's
It's
not
just
just. It isn't just another Fire Emblem character that's being promoted, but it's a Fire Emblem character that is divisive in
yeah,
similar but also different ways than Korn. But when it comes to Fates, Korn really is the only option they could have picked. But with Three Houses, there's four characters they could have chosen, and they picked, in my personal opinion, the most boring one, the most basic one, and the most well, I just can't really use that word, but the one that's
The third Avatar.
yeah. It's like you could have had these unique characters that actually have full personalities, full stories. They've got all these things about them, Edelgard, Claude, or Dimitri, and then we just get Byleth.
Just kind of
violent.
try and do like all three with like
Yeah,
a blank slate, you know? It's like
exactly. Like it's yes, I'm not saying Byleth doesn't have personality to him. He does. It's just there's not a lot there. But
mm,
they tried to meld three characters into one, and it just doesn't feel satisfying. Like Corn, I played Byleth. I got the character. I gave him a shot. Not fun to play. Not fun. I can't enjoy playing Byleth.
Yeah, there's
debatable, but each person's taste, of course. But
Well, no, that's why I said for me.
okay.
right.
Cool.
Yeah, I think even if you garner some sort of interest in Byleth's moveset, there's capabilities using the relics and the sort of the creator there where there are instances where you're like, oh, okay, at least this is semi unique, but at the same time, it opened up this can of worms again with Fire Emblem as the scapegoat, topping off DLC, but also for promotion again point blank, but also again choosing the avatar who, objectively speaking, will have less of a storyline, will have less of a personality than these pre-established characters. All three of whom became extremely popular within those couple months of release prior to the reveal.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of people were banking on someone like Edelgard. Dimitri was a dark horse who eventually bubbled to the top popularity. Claude was just kind of the go-to choice from the start for a lot of people, and we screwed them all. I mean, like one way to have done it otherwise would have been to keep the functionality of the moves generally the same, but even just having Byleth, yeah, even just having Byleth call the characters on stage when using the specials probably would have gone
Oh, it's
a
so
long way with
cool.
yeah, would have satiated a part of the community at least, you know, but now we're just stuck with the idea of, okay, we got Robin, and that was cool because it subverted expectations in a way that actually felt positive as opposed to Game of Thrones. We got
Come on.
we we got Corrin, who was just simply the only option, and at least was unique with the gameplay elements. And then we got Byleth, and now we have this new controversy on top of having literally every character in the game have a sword as their primary weapon. We also have the instance of, and also like 4 characters out of the 7 having Marth's essence in them. We also have the instance of 3 avatars being playable. So it's a question of, a wary question for Smash fans and Fire Emblem fans alike. So long as Fire Emblem keeps having avatars, we can naturally assume now, with 3 being a pattern, oh, it's just going to be the boring avatar every single time.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a thing too. It's just like the first 5 characters, like Ike, Marth, Roy, and most of this like Marth, Roy, Lucina, Chrom, like they're all like pretty well received characters, but they also have the most similar gameplay in terms of actual characters, and then the avatars have terrible character reception, but they have like probably most varied gameplay. It's like,
Agreed.
So what can you do about that, right?
Well, we could go back in time and make some changes, but
True, but that's kind of like, it's just like you can't have this is where like who is the perfect Fire Emblem characters now, But I don't know.
Yeah.
I do like how they play, but just like it can't have been exciting for that many people, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the problem with that for me is that if we're set in this default setting where Fire Emblem is a exciting series for Nintendo that is bubbling to the surface of their mainstream sales, and then we translate that into Smash with the most boring possible option every single time, that reflects poorly on the legacy that Smash has established for Fire Emblem, and it's becoming this homogenized thing.
Right. Like we're not going to get we're not going to get side characters like Tharia or damn, I'm trying to think of Titania, or like we're always going to get one of the main leads. So Chrom, Robin, Lord-like characters. Those are only the ones we're ever going to get. But if you're doing a sword fighter, don't make him another Marth, and don't just pick the avatar because it's the avatar.
Yeah.
It's like avatars can be fine.
Slate.
Robin has an actual personality in Awakening. He's a legit character. Corrin is a little bit worse off. Byleth is literally a blank slate. Like they give a reason for why he shows no emotion. Which, granted, I appreciate if they gave us a reason for that in game. That's kind of cool, but it does not an interesting character make.
Right.
Like I don't want Smash to just be, here's all your creative characters. Here's your all your self inserts. I want it to be a game of actual characters.
And what a shame too, because there's so many varied characters and like so many varied classes and stuff, like the history of the series, and just it does not reflect well in Smash itself, right?
And Three Houses was really the place to
the chance,
yeah, because you had those 3 lords who used different weapons, who were all greatly well received, who also could use magic and expose different classes. Okay, well, carry on.
Yeah, like literally any character in Three Houses can do anything. I mean, some of them have specific spells that they can and can't learn, but as far as the weapons, they can all do it all.
Right.
Like you don't have, and you also don't even have to always just pick from the most recent game. If they decide to give us Ephraim or Sigurd or Lyn, I would love that. Please feel free to give us a character from an older game if it's a good character.
Exactly. So I would like for them to, you can't rewrite the past, but you can kind of stave off for the future. So if we're in this area where we're running the assumption that Ultimate 2 is probably not happening, that gives us an opportunity to vastly change the board with how Fire Emblem is represented in Smash.
Yeah.
So, possibly cutting at least one of the avatars, probably giving us a clean sweep of most of the pseudo clones or echoes. So my kind of perception is maybe Marth, Ike, Robin, and maybe Corrin are probably a good future baseline to work off of. And then you go from there and restructuring how to approach Fire Emblem, because it should not be this process where you can naturally assume, okay, it's going to be the Avatar. Okay, it's going to be another clone of Marth. Yeah, exactly. It would be a great opportunity to approach it from, hey, now we can promote Lyn. Now we can bring in a character like Ephraim, who is very well received from Fire Emblem Heroes, or Sigurd, or get Byleth to at least upgrade with 3 Houses summons, or like, oh hey, Edelgard was great, let's put her in instead this time,
Yeah.
I also kind of... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I kind of see why they chose Byleth, just because, say, if they did chose Edelgard, then, like, people who went with Dimitri or Claude their first time feel, like, left out or something, and then, like, 3 Houses is supposed to be, like, the 3 choices, I guess, but, man, I feel like it would have been better, like you guys say, with just lords themselves coming down with Byleth, if anything,
Right. That's something I was about to say as well. Is like I've seen arguments brought up of, oh, choose Byleth because that way you don't have to upset fan bases of the 2 lords you didn't choose. I get the argument. I see ya, but Smash already does that. Hey, look, Greninja. What about the fans of Delphox and Chestnut? Oh, look, Incineroar. What about the fans of Decidueye and Primarina?
Come on, Decidueye,
what's the difference?
Man.
That's fair.
Like, just pick one. You don't necessarily have to pick the most popular, although it is a fairly good baseline. But whichever one of them you see has the most potential to be different and a fun fighter, fun being a very key aspect there, go with it. Claude is the one that I would have least liked out of the 3, but if they added Claude and he was an incredibly fun and satisfying character to play as, I'd love it. But instead we got Byleth, who I'm just not satisfied by.
Shoot, they also could have just waited one game, and if there were no other major Fire game between, like, oh hey, we have so many slots to fill. Here's Edelgard, Dimitri, and Claude.
Oh boy, I don't know if that would well.
Yeah, I don't agree. I'm gonna agree with Eric there.
Yeah.
Unless the roster is like 128, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Here's Galactonite, Marks, Bandana D, and Chef Kawasaki, and Adeline.
Nah.
Here's
I'm down
Yoda,
for some more Kirby
Elizabeth.
characters, but not that many.
That's also kind of a discussion too, is like the importance of the characters themselves that are in Smash, Like, it's not like the Fire Emblem characters that we do have aren't important characters in their own games, right?
No, they definitely all are. They're all Lord or equivalent.
But that's what happens when you have a series that's like every new game is a whole new cast, right?
It makes it hard.
Such a huge pool. Same with Pokemon
Right.
too. They almost always like eclipse like the biggest ones of Mario and stuff just because of the pool of characters. And like if you dig any deeper in Mario, you get like Piranha Plant.
Well,
It's kind of hard to balance that way too, right? I feel like you have to remove one every time you add one. In that case.
Well, here's a question I'll ask for you, since you're talking about remove one, add one, and we talked about what the future of Smash could bring. I've thought about this a lot myself, but let's say you're working on the next Smash game and you have influence on how Fire Emblem is going to be represented in terms of characters. What do you do, Flamezone?
Like what to do in terms of characters? Like
yeah, like you get to decide the Fire Emblem roster for the next Smash. You can either bring back all the same characters, or you can replace them all, or do whatever your own mix.
I think the first thing I have to look at is whether or not this new game wants to dial back and like change the mechanics fundamentally, or if it wants to expand on what Ultimate already built.
Mm-hmm.
So in which scenario are we talking about? Like the one where it dials back and like rethinks the formula, or?
I would say it keeps the same formula for this theoretical. It's just if there's any big changes, it will be maybe some characters are refreshed, like Ganondorf or Samus, or if you wanted to give Lucina a completely new moveset that makes her not Marth 2.0 or 3.0 rather.
But would you say it would have a smaller cast or a larger cast than Ultimate?
I would say just assume that there's not going to be any more than 9 Fire Emblem characters. So if you kept the same current 8, you could still add 1 more.
Huh. Okay. That's curious. I think it'd be really valuable to, um, I think it's good to like. I know that there's a lot of like awakening bias in the game right now. I think removal of a lot of them and kind of like dividing it more across the history of Fire Emblem would be really valuable. Like finally getting Lyn in there would be a huge one, I think. And just representing the GBA Fire Emblems a lot better, and like maybe cutting out like Crom and stuff. Do you want me to pick what 9? Like what specific 9?
Yeah, if you've got some names you can put down. If you need to think about it, I can say what I have.
Okay, sure. I'll think about it.
So, you mentioned that instead of having like 3 characters from the same game, maybe represent the franchise a little bit more across the history and also different weapon types. I completely agree. Please, that's what we need.
Yeah,
we don't
really.
need 4 characters that fight like Marth. We don't need 3 characters that all represent Awakening. If you have to have 2 from Awakening, Lucina is a good second choice. Crom is very, very much extra that we do not need. My very first cut is Crom. Get the fuck out. You're not needed. My second cut is Roy. Like my second cut is Roy, not because I don't like Roy. I love Roy. He's I would prefer him over Marth personally, but we need Marth as the originator of the franchise. He has to stay. Roy, unless you're made significantly different, get the fuck out. Lucina, I know I just said that if we had to have a second one from Awakening, you can stay, but this is my world. Get the fuck out. No. That Byleth is another one I'm just removing because, like I've harped on enough, I don't find him interesting. And I think there were several better ways that they not have completely done Byleth, but they could have represented 3 houses. So no, he can go as well. Corrin barely makes the cut for me, and it's all because of how unique Corrin is in Smash. Corrin and Fates, do not care. Corrin and Smash, fun. Love it. And then I had to have Marth, I had to have Ike, I had to have Robin. Those 3 are all very different fighters from each other, but they're also representing, in a way, different eras of Fire Emblem. You got Marth for the original games, Ike for the middle era, and then Robin is a good rep for the more modern day. How do I add in the next ones after that? I think Lyn is one that should definitely be in there. Oh, but she's just another sword fighter. True, but she fights differently with her sword. She's much more of a samurai-esque type of fighter.
Yeah, like
Plus,
ninja-ish.
yeah. Plus, she uses a bow. She is a sword bow fighter, and that would be quite a bit different. Oh, Link also already uses a sword and bow. Okay, but she doesn't throw bombs or a boomerang, so you can go harder in on both these other 2 things. I also think I would bring in Edelgard as our rep from 3 houses because it's an axe user. Could it be Hector? Oh yeah, sure. Could it be Camilla? I guess. But I've already got Lyn, so I don't need Hector. And Edelgard is the next best axe rep in my mind. And she's just a fun character. I understand why some people don't like her, but she's very fun. I love her character in the game. Does she go a little bit overboard? Well, discussion for another day. But I've got a sword, I've got a bow, I've got an axe. We need a lance, and there's not many lance lords either. So I'm just gonna go with the easy choice of Ephraim. Could I go with Dimitri? Yes, but I also already have Edelgard, as I kind of mentioned the whole Hector thing. And Ephraim represents another new game, Sacred Stones. I've got 2 slots left. One of them I gotta throw on Celica. It's another old school rep.
Get my entire list.
I mean, I feel like these are probably the most popular picks from most people. So there's that. But with Celica, yes, it's another sword fighter. I get it. I hear you people. But light magic. Robin uses magic. Yes, he does. But he uses lightning, fire, wind, and somehow dark, even though he can't in Awakening. Weird, but okay. But Celica covers light magic. And the interesting thing about that is that in her game, magic isn't done by expending uses of your tome. You sacrifice your HP to cast spells. And they can build a whole new mechanic around that. which would be incredibly interesting, I think. I've had ideas on how you could work that into a moveset. I just haven't written it down yet. But for the last slot, this is the one that I feel like could be the most variable between different people. And for me, it comes down to one or two characters. Tiki or Anna. If I can figure out how to make Tiki fight in her dragon form and make it be satisfying and fun and not look weird, I would love to add Tiki. Give us a Maniquette, another rep from the old school days, but also still appears in Awakening, so she's got both sides of the spectrum. But if I can't figure it out, Anna would be a hell of a lot of fun. You'd have a very fast character using daggers to attack, and she could even use other things from her, all kinds of weapons, because she's a merchant. She sells all the stuff. She have all kinds of items that she could use as well. It would just be like a thief-like character that we don't have. There's a lot of archetypes in Smash that just we don't have as playable characters. I'm really surprised samurais aren't in. That's a big one for me. It's like, what the shit? Really?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't really have minis from the ninjas type, or we have nothing that's a thief, and it would fit that role very well.
Absolutely.
It's a solid list. I think ours is probably like 8 out of 9, the exact same. Honestly, did you say Lucina over Roy though?
I said cut both Lucina and Roy.
Oh, and Roy.
Yeah. If I had to have a second Marth, if I had to have a second Marth, I would probably just say Roy. But if I had to have a second Awakening rep, I would say Lucina. You know, but preferably both would be gone for me. The less clones, the less echoes in my mind, the better. But if they get added in later, it's like, hey, well, look, we got like a month left of development time. We can put in a couple echoes. Fine, whatever. But if I'm picking like a full set of 9, I'm going as unique as possible.
Yeah, no, that's a really good strategy. And like, I seriously, I was gonna say Celica and Ephraim too. So like, our lists are like not different at all. Although, like, I don't know about cutting Roy. It'd be tough, but your list is basically spot on.
None of us like to see characters be cut.
Yeah,
even what I've been saying about Byleth and Roy and Lucina, even with all the stuff I've been saying about them, I don't like characters getting cut. It's disappointing. It is. I would rather see them be differentiated more than to be completely.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not happening. There's no reality where that all happens.
Right. I think that between the two of you, you've basically gone through the well of the most popular and also sensible choices. For me, so in that case, I'm not necessarily going to go through the 9, because if I went through the 9, it would be the same as Lister's. Just point blank, the same. But at the same time, there's other characters to discuss, so let's lob some out there. Before I do so, I will say that, yes, I agree with the general consensus that my viewpoint is not that there's too much Fire Emblem in Smash. It's not that there's too many sword fighters in Smash either. And not even necessarily that there's too many avatars in Smash presently. The avatar problem is, as we currently discussed, that there's just a pattern, and having a pattern is uninspiring. As for sword fighters and Fire Emblem characters, it's not that we have too many sword fighters, it's not that we have too many Fire Emblem characters, it's that we have too many Fire Emblem characters and too many sword fighters who fight very similarly to one another.
It's not about who is in, it's about how they are in and how they are used.
Right, absolutely. Like if they had a way to differentiate Lucina further or Chrom further, it wouldn't have been as much of a difference to the main Smash fan base as it is now, with them just injected as clones, or just along those lines. Having 4 separate variations of the Marth moveset is just a tad bit extreme.
It is. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so just even having a full list of 9 sword fighters, toss them out there and make them play differently, because there's multiple ways to fight with a sword, just like there's multiple ways to fight with your fist. There's a way to make it work.
Yep.
The Glen would be so different.
It's like, if it wasn't for the fact that Fates had 3 different games and 2 different warring families, I think Ryoma would have been an amazing choice from Fates. The only problem is, if you have him, then you have nobody from the North side of things. It would just been a little weird.
Yeah, that's like the Pokemon argument, though. Pokemon starter.
Yeah,
like you said. But...
Fair.
Right. And at the same time, if you really wanted to, on the other side of that, then Xander would have played very differently to Ryoma and could play quite differently to the rest of the cast as well. There's a way to make it work, and that just is not currently present in Fire Emblem. A character like Xander, I don't know exactly how you would have made it work off the top of my head, but I'm just lobbing out there. He could be one of many characters who could be the first mounted unit in the game.
Yeah.
That's something that has been tossed around with Secret a lot. It's something that I've been thinking recently of when Paula, Katria, and S were finally tossed in as the first trio unit in Heroes. I was like, hey, there could be a, Pegasus Knight class playable in Smash, and they're always fighting on their mount. That would be intriguing. You can have maybe Kada as the main one, and then the three sisters as alts. That could be another way they can go for a spear user that isn't just the standard, Ephraim or Dimitri. And then you can have Ephraim and Dimitri in the game too, as different playstyles as well. So just the idea, there's too many sword fighters, there's too many Fire Emblems. Those are from people with not everyone, but the baseline argument is like a tiny baby mind thing in from my perception. It's an asinine reflection of what's actually wrong.
Yeah.
So so I'm just gonna toss other ideas out there. There's the mounted unit. I would love a character who is prominent, who specializes in dark magic. Just because Robin's Nosferatu. Yeah. Wait, who?
Lysithea.
Oh yeah, Lysithea. Yeah, Lysithea or Hubert. That would be interesting, and they're more tertiary characters that are important to three houses, but at the same time,
or maybe just like a Fire Emblem villain who did dark magic or something.
Yeah, someone like
Leon.
Ishtar or Nurgle or Leon. Yeah, Leon would be great because he's a necromancer. Well, he can introduce something along those lines. That would be crazy. There's even Tharja, if not for certain aspects of her design that the Japanese rating board found unsavory. So,
when you have to have your trophy cut from Smash 4, your odds of being playable are pretty low.
Exactly, and that's fine by me because there's just more interesting choices, but the general idea stands. And then there's also transforming classes in Fire Emblem that have been prominent for quite a while.
I would love a Beast unit.
Radiant Dawn, in Fates, there were very prominent. So yeah, Beast unit could work out well. I'm not sure who off the top of my head would be best for that. There are villain characters we can include. Yeah,
Randolph is by far the best Beast unit to go with. He's the most important one story-wise.
I think that's probably true.
Although Tabarn would be crazy cool.
And something else like John said too, like how you could have like Dimitri / Ephraim. It's kind of like, oh man, like maybe they should just give the hero treatment to more Fire Emblem classes and stuff. Like I feel like it would work so well for a game like that, just like where you can cycle through 4 different characters all on alts instead of being separate select character menus, right? Like,
yeah. The only problem is you have to find ones that would work well, like their models could be similar enough that they fit the same hitboxes, and that it wouldn't be weird seeing them fight someone like, hey, Marth, Lucina, Roy, Crumb. That would work. But you couldn't do like Takumi onto Lindis.
Right.
You could do Takumi onto Claude, but
that's what I'm thinking. Like that actually works like shockingly well if you think about it. Like,
yeah, if there were an opportunity, like right now, the only thing that we have with that are the Koopalings and Alf is kind of like an odd one out to where Alf should just be an Echo right now.
Really should be.
But if they were to differentiate that or with more variances where we have more alts present alongside the Echo, then it wouldn't be as controversial and would probably be a decent way to get as much bang for your buck as possible, so long as they can afford the models and the voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would be totally fine with that. Like having a Panda and Kuma on the same alt if you get them randomly as the Tekken character.
That would make sense.
Yeah, or even shifting between Ryu, Ken, and Akuma on the same slot. Something. But then again, they have a lot of play differences. But the only reason I mentioned that was because you mentioned Chrom. and Roy, who play differently from Martha and Lucina.
They only play differently because they were made to play differently in Smash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ryu, Ken, and Akuma all play differently already in Street Fighter. In Street
Sure.
like Street Fighter 1 and 2, okay, Ryu and Ken are still very similar. But even then, Ryu was always a little bit more fire focused, and Akuma has his own shit.
What about Dan and
Sakura?
Rock Lee? Yeah.
I don't know who Rock Lee is. Is that a Tekken thing? Cool. Don't know it.
Yeah.
Dan
Yeah.
also would not
Yeah.
be a good alt for Ryu.
Oh, no.
Seeing Dan play competently just does not make sense.
Nope. But anyway, that's kind of straying from the topic. Just the idea of having during. Oh, yeah, that could work. The general thought.
Right,
Like
well, it's an
Ethan and
idea.
Dimitri is a good idea. Yeah.
But
Like-
like, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I actually didn't have a full thought formed.
Okay.
Shocker.
I know we were just discussing whether or not to. I know because like List read a really good list of 9 there, where it like really differentiates and celebrates the history of Fire Emblem, and kind of gives it more diversity. But if they're going to go the way that they have gone, instead of having 8 different characters, maybe they could have considered like having them as alts, like Olimar, like Alm treatment instead of full blown different characters, and maybe that would help soften the blow for those who are against as many Fire Emblem characters as we do have.
Agreed. Like,
Yeah.
would some people be disappointed that the character they like to play as is now just an alt costume? Yes, and I understand, and I'm with you. I get it. It would be a very disappointing thing. But if I'm looking at how to rebalance a franchise's representation in the game, that is a very good path to take.
That's fair too, because like I think just factually, like I don't know about post Three Houses, but definitely before it. Fire Emblem does not rival like the popularity of like Pokemon and Mario. We wish it did. I can see why people are so upset with the way that Smash has gone when it comes to that.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's always the argument that, oh yeah, just because Byleth is in doesn't mean he's taking someone else's slot. And I mean, it's true. Like, you can always include that character later, but at the same time, we live in a world where Waluigi and Isaac and Skull Kid and Ashley and Lynn are all assist trophies, and Byleth was included.
Yeah.
So there is that, like, characters with established history, prominence, long-standing fan bases continually get the shaft for the sake of promotion, which I also understand is a big problem with the current inflammation, and just rebalancing for the term. I think that Smash definitely started as a case for All Stars and Legacy, and we've kind of lost the script as time has gone on in some respects. We still got King K. Rool, Ridley, Banjo-Kazooie, the big 3 for a long time, literally decades.
Yeah,
And we wouldn't have
huge.
gotten any of them if it wasn't for the ballot. And the fans finally getting to say, yes, this is what we want. Please.
True. So there is still, and I don't think this is necessarily Sakurai, but it is Nintendo twisting his hand saying, let's put this in. And he's like, I guess.
Yeah,
So.
like, Sakurai even said in one of his columns that he didn't really want to add in Byleth. He tried to say that, well, what about this instead? And Nintendo's like, no, Byleth.
Yeah.
And even
Yeah,
a
so-
reveal trailer had like that cheeky kind of reference to
Oh,
another
yeah.
sword fighter. Yeah, it's like, yeah, there's self-aware humor, right? Like,
Like he's very aware of what the fan base was going to react, and he seems, while he loves Three Houses himself, he made it very clear that Byleth was not his choice, and that if it was up to him, we wouldn't have gotten Byleth.
Right.
maybe next game, But the DLC timing is so poor.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I think that, is there too much Fire Emblem is kind of it's yes and no, because we shouldn't necessarily get into the habit of judging these series against one another in this sense, but at the same time, is there too much Fire Emblem when we could have gotten something else? Sure. just in the sense of, particularly Corrin and Byleth.
Right. So, for me, the answer is there too much Fire Emblem? No, there's not. It's just poorly represented. And that's
right,
not. And
I can agree with that.
And we are so far we've only discussed characters. We have not touched on the stages or the assist trophies that Fire Emblem has.
Right.
Twice as many characters as stages.
Stages. Let me think here. They have Castle Siege, Arena Ferox, Coliseum, and Garreg Mach.
And then 8 characters.
Yeah. Which, I mean, not every franchise has a stage to character balance. There's a lot more Mario stages than there are Mario characters.
True.
But when it comes to the Fire Emblem stages for me, Castle Siege, Coliseum, they're both pretty cool ideas. But they're a little too generic. I would rather see locations from the other games. Arena Ferox has some interesting facts to it where, it kind of changes up every time. Garreg Mach...
the best one. I mean, like, you spend so much time there in Three Houses.
Yeah, I mean, it is by far the best choice to represent Three Houses as a stage, but I feel like the way it was used. Well, I agree, it should definitely be a traveling stage. The locations that I'm seeing aren't really interesting. Like, I think the coolest one is the dining hall. That's cool, and where you have the marketplace and you can hit each other up against the carts. That's pretty cool too.
True.
But beyond that, I mean, one of them was just a flat plane, and I don't remember it when they go inside the temple. Is there any actual platforms? That one I don't remember.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. For a while, you can get like a battlefield style setup in there. But yeah, I agree. You could use a little more spice. But Garreg Mach also, I can at least appreciate Garreg Mach and Arena Ferox from the point of where they're pulled from games and are actual locations.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily against Castle Siege or Coliseum. My personal favorite stage, just the way that it plays out, is probably Coliseum because it's a larger Arena Ferox essentially.
Yeah. Like Coliseum is cool because there are actual generic Coliseums across the series where you can do like free battles and shit. Castle Siege is literally just. I mean, we decided to make a stage and we're like, hey, look, Fire Emblem has castles, so let's just say it's a Fire Emblem game. There's nothing about that stage that's actually Fire Emblem.
I think they got cheeky and they included the Dane flag, at least in Brawl. I can't recall if it's an Ultimate or SSB4 from Path of Radiance. But that was like the sole identifier. I thought it was really cool at the time. It was really, really cool at the time. It's kind of a perennial stage for Smash now, but at the same time, it's also, in my opinion, probably the weaker link of the stages.
Yeah,
of course, Eric may have a totally different opinion.
Do I?
What's that? No,
Eric might have a... Yeah?
Oh, sorry, no. Castle, yeah, like, no, I agree with you. Like, I feel like none of the Fire Emblem stages, at least prior to Garreg Mach, like, actually felt like it was an important place from the series at all. Like, it could have been anyone's castle that's being sieged, it could be whatever Coliseum. There wasn't very much landmark stages, I guess. And they didn't really try to make too many stages for Fire Emblem over the years. It's a bunch of characters.
Yeah.
They did try to make that Arcania stage in Melee that all we have left is the code, and then they just kind of were like, it's opposite Brawl. Yeah. So I would say for Brawl it wasn't bad. SSB4 it wasn't bad. Now we've just gotten to the point where maybe we can have 1 or 2 stages extra in Ultimate would have been fine by me.
Yeah.
But we also just weren't focusing a whole lot on new stages in the base Ultimate game. So I don't have a big negative reflection on the current Fire Emblem stage representation, but as opposed to most people's opinions on the character representation, I do wish that we had a couple more that were more identifiable with Fire Emblem. Specific games in the series, like Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn. You could have made it Alencia's Castle or Tower of Guidance or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I guess like looking at the series too, like it's definitely more about the characters and like the places they go, because I can't even list off too many identifiable locations off the top of my head either. Like,
right. So
Definitely
there's
the pool
also
characters.
just there's more interesting mechanics that can. We've talked about having a generic stage based off of the general idea of Fog of War, which is
A
a
Flamezone
considerable.
original creation.
Yeah, that's true. Back in the day, and yeah, so there's more to take from there. I don't have anything against current representation. If we're gonna keep the four in as a slot, I would probably nix. As much as I like Coliseum, I'd probably nix both it and Castle Siege for two stages that actually represent specific locations of the game, just because Arena Ferox and Garreg Mach actually do represent
Yeah.
specific areas.
That's fair.
Yeah. How about
Yeah,
you
oh,
boys?
I know it's kind of an off-topic thought, I guess, but I know
Mhm.
like the line of thinking you had earlier, where you're saying how Smash kind of, and it is to me too. It kind of like represents the legacy of like Nintendo's IPs and just almost, well, nowadays with Ultimate like gaming in general, is a celebration of gaming, and then how they've lost the script over the time too. Like how does that reflect on Piranha Plant? Like th- doesn't that feel like such a out of place thing when it comes
It is
to
incredibly out of place. I get Sakurai
Mhm.
wants to have some fun with it, but really, like if you want to have a piranha plant, put in Petey.
yeah, they kind
Yeah.
of did, but it's yeah, just hmm, like
Mhm.
I know, it's just feel like establishing a legacy, and like Horn and Violet haven't really had a legacy to go off of yet. They still
Mm-hmm.
got ahead of everybody else, right? Like it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes
They,
you do have those characters that become instant popular and instant successes, and they get
Like
in
Joker.
immediately. Well, I was going to say the Inkling from Splatoon,
mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
but like for the most part, it's sort of they're either a legacy character or they're from a legacy franchise. And when you
yeah,
even this
Right.
is a brief side topic onto the third party choices that have gone to Smash over the years, but there's only one third party rep in Smash that is not from a legacy franchise or is a legacy character themselves, and that's Bayonetta. The only
Yeah.
legacy that Bayonetta has is that she's a Hideki Kamiya creation.
Right.
mm.
That would be like including Sam from Death Stranding instead of Snake.
That'd be really weird, and I would not be for that.
Considering he's a reflection of a real person, yeah, that would be
Oh
bizarre.
boy, yeah,
But
I'm sure I'd be crossing a
yeah,
line.
yeah. I mean, what do you guys think about stage representation in Smash with Fire Emblem?
I think it's all right.
Like it's
Like
not the worst it could be. Metroid has it pretty bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but definitely I would
Everything
love
is
to
lava.
see. Yeah, I would love to see more variety in terms of like actual locations. The Sakan Plains, Mila Tree, or
Oh,
not?
that would be
I
great.
don't wait. Is Mila Tree? I think I'm thinking of like the tree that it's either Mila Tree or
Yeah,
it's where Tiki's at. One of the two, whatever it
it
is.
is the Mila tree for
Okay,
where Tiki is.
okay. Or
or
like Duma's
Serena's Forest.
Fortress. Yeah, or yeah,
Hmm.
Serena's Force would be great. The Dragon's Table. Some people say on top of Grima's back, which okay, sure you actually fight there, but that'd just be weird to me. It's weird that you fight there in front of them already, but whatever. I'd love to
Yeah,
see something that's from the original game. I'd love to see like the Arcania stage or something to do with Medeus.
Yeah,
Martha
and the Mila
Station.
tree is in Marth's games as well.
True, true. It would be a good way to represent both the original and Awakening, which is part of
Yeah,
why I want Tiki.
yeah. I was gonna say Tiki herself does the same thing.
Yep.
So there is that. Um, yeah. So there are. I mean, it's a strategy RPG. There's less identifiable locations than there would be in a JRPG or something along those lines, but there's still enough that you get through the story beats in between chapters. You're like, there's enough here to build into a stage.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So, and that for me is a place where we have a lot left to be desired. Assist trophies though are pretty fire right now.
yeah, they did a good job with that.
Like I feel like Ultimate is the first time that I'm actually satisfied with how assist trophies are in Smash. Brawl,
I
okay, fine.
agree.
It's their first time, so there's not a whole lot of them that they picked, and some of them are just weird. Smash 4 added a lot more, but there's still, I feel like some areas that were missing. Ultimate, there's still a little bit that I feel like should get some improvement. Like, where is our Donkey Kong assist trophy? The animal buddies are perfect for this. What the shit?
Was there a
And
claptrap?
was there what?
Isn't there a claptrap? Or no?
True claptrap, but I mean characters and not just generic enemies. Which cool. I mean,
Fair.
claptrap is unique as far as an assist trophy. Fair, but I would rather see characters. And I don't like the ones that, if you get caught by them, you're just screwed. Cap'n, Nikki,
Arcade Bunny.
Arcade.
Pretty
Oh yeah,
annoying.
that's what I meant. Not Nikki. I meant Arcade Bunny. Like Cap'n is the worst defender. Fuck Cap'n. Get the fuck out.
Boss Galaga
Out.
as an item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Fire Emblem started out with just Lyn being in Brawl and Smash 4 as an assist trophy, and then finally Ultimate added in both the Black Knight and Tiki. And anytime I see Black Knight or Tiki come out onto the stage, I'm just like, oh fuck, I gotta get out of here. They won't kill me. It's bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to see more Fire Emblem assist trophies, and we kind of touched on them a little bit in our assist trophy extravaganza episode, where you could have a character like Raphael who runs forward at people and punches them with his fists and maybe gets distracted by food items and he stops to eat them on his way. Or you could even have, as we kind of mentioned possibly with playable characters, you could have the Pegasus Rider assist trophy, and sometimes when it's summoned it looks like Pala. Sometimes when it's summoned it looks like Sita. Or I'm trying to think of the other ones.
Etria, Est, Alencia.
Alencia, I was trying to think of the one on Awakening. Cordelia, that's her name. Or Caldori from Fates. You could have anybody be a Pegasus Rider in 3 houses. Flame would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Or just have like the trios in the games and stuff, because they do a try attack in the game, right?
I definitely think that Pala, Catri, and S as a trio would make a great assist trophy. Would it be similar to the Pokemon Latios and Latios or the Cat and Anna assist trophy? Yeah, probably. Do I want it anyways? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be a great way to get like the mounted units in there and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the best way to do like the flying units. Like you mentioned, Jonno, trying to have a Pegasus Rider be a playable character. I have a hard time envisioning that in my head, but they can still be represented as an assist trophy, and then they I think they would flow a lot better that way. Now a horse unit that could work out. I think it'd be still a bit difficult, but you could probably work it out. The flying units.
Was that?
Oh, sorry. Do you guys think that there'd be some kind of issue with like violence against what looks like a real life animal kind of thing? I know there's animals in the game, but they're like, yeah, come on, that's kind of cartoony. If there's a Pegasus Rider in the game and they had like hit stun animations and stuff, and it's like a real looking horse, would that be a problem for the development team, you think?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that there's there's a certain line where you know that it's from this base game, and I don't think it would cause too much of an issue. It's really just dependent on
we have Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, they're just monkeys.
Yeah. I think if you had a Nintendo in and you're beating the crap out of that might be a little different.
Yeah, like that's kind of what I envision.
or like I don't know, or cooking Mama's baby on there, that'd be kind of freaky. But like if you had Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, I don't think that would be a big deal. If you had Epona, that would be a big deal. And so since we have Fire Emblem and it's established there's characters horseback, personally I don't think it would be a big issue. Yeah. But I mean that's just me. Our pals at PETA can boost up our numbers and let us know what they think about it though.
It's so relevant.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But that's a whole different
thing
for sure.
True. I'm trying to open that up right now. Start talking about PETA. Oh boy.
PETA, if you're listening, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I endorse that message.
Okay. I endorse it too.
Nevertheless, though, there's definitely room for more assist trophies. I'm very happy with the current assist trophy.
Yeah, they picked like a couple of really good ones, but they could have done a lot.
Oh yeah, they could have. I think that that's well balanced as opposed to juxtaposed to the rest of the assist trophies in Ultimate, but just looking ahead, there's ways to go. The Raphael from the Access Trophy Extravaganza that you brought up was a great one.
It's really
Absolutely, absolutely phenomenal. The Pegasus Sisters, again, another one. You could probably come in with. That's also another easy way to represent other characters and other classes that wouldn't necessarily be represented through Fire Emblem playable characters, because with playable characters, we're always going to hit the wall of they have to be extremely important and at least somewhat relevant. Like, as much as we love Nurgle or Leon as characters, they probably will not be playable ever.
Yeah.
You can include them as in different facets, as assist trophies or as bosses even. Like a future boss in the game could be Leon summoning Famortis, or Nurgle summoning the Fire Dragons, or something along those lines. You can have a dark magic character just do a dark magic attack. You can have a light magic character do a light magic attack. You can have bandits. You can have just all manner of things. You can have wyvern units, like shift between things like Minerva or any number of other Camilla even. Camilla probably definitely in that case.
Yeah,
actually.
probably.
And it would be a way to
Or Anna
like,
too.
Yeah. We're past. Yeah, then you can have Anna as a playable character, hopefully, and Merlin as Cesar Echo, as we previously established. No, it's just something that I've been harping on as a semi joke, but also semi serious to Lister for several episodes.
I mean, it's better than that one guy that suggested that an Echo for Byleth could be the version of Crom from Sharp FE, Tokyo Mirage Session. It's like, I don't know what kind of drugs the guy was on, but dude, no.
That was a bizarre article I came across. I think it was linktable.com, so you can check that out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
quite a suggestion there.
It's fucking weird. Like, there's only, in my opinion, there's only two characters that you could possibly make an Echo out of Byleth for, and that's Rhea and Nemesis. They're the only two, and it's because of the Sword of the Creator. Like that element alone. That element alone makes it so that there's very few choices that can possibly work.
That's fair.
Right, but what about Eloise?
No.
What if you had a Flame Assist trophy and she just gave you a fish?
Flame.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yep. So there's some good ways to represent Fire Emblem in Smash in the future. I think, the contention is with the characters, and there's myriad ways to fix that.
Yeah.
If there were an Ultimate 2, then so be it. Then you would just work, like if somehow we miraculously were able to build off of Ultimate instead of build from the ground up again and make several cuts, then I guess how you would approach it is just, okay, we have these characters already established, and we can spend time making them better. And then from there, maybe include one other. And that would be fine too. And a way to get people to not bitch about it. Mm-hmm. So I guess there's that. Like, again, that popular idea of having Edelgard Claude into Byleth's moveset further. Go ahead and make it happen. Work on differentiating Crom and Lucina further. That sort of thing. But a boy can dream, and the dream that I dream is a very much renovated Fire Emblem roster in the future game that dares to span across the series instead of just with every new entry, and dares to go beyond just the blank slate characters.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my final opinion. And as far as stages goes, just expand upon it. You don't necessarily need to make cuts, but if you did, there's a couple generics to lob out of the way for more interesting things, and ways to work on the pre-existing stages like Eric Mock to expand on them and make them more interesting. And probably fix Lawrence's design too, because he looks disgusting in Garrick Mock on Smash Ultimate.
I mean, okay, hold up. Let's back up here a second. Lawrence looks disgusting in Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Oh, wow.
Let's be real. He
true.
does. He has the worst priest time skip care out of anyone, and that includes Ignatz, who has a bowl cut.
Also true.
I wasn't huge on him anyway, but
Yeah. Also, I don't like any of the character models on the Garrick Knox stage. I think they all look bad.
well, the whole game, the in-game textures look kind of bad in Three Houses, to be honest. But
Well, I mean the
Oh, but
Garrick
not
Knox
that
stage in
bad, yeah.
Smash. Like
what's that?
all the cameo characters on the stage in Smash, I don't think they look good. Some look better than others, but largely they do not look good.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. The best looking is probably Gatekeeper, who, in my opinion, is probably
Gatekeeper.
the
He's
the
a goat.
Isn't even there.
Yeah, yeah, the second most likely character to be included in the next Smash Brothers game.
I'm surprised they didn't include him over Violet, to be honest.
I know, me too.
He was definitely robbed of a spirit battle.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Assist trophies. I think that we're in good standing there, and it can only get better. Really, just keep the ones we currently have and keep building.
Yeah.
Unless they want to make Tiki playable or Black Knight playable, that's fine too.
Or Lin playable.
Oh, well, yeah.
And I mean, really, with any of those, this is something I've mentioned for other characters as well. If you want to upgrade an assist trophy from a character, you don't have to get rid of their assist trophy, just replace the character. It's like, hey, if we get Springman, maybe his assist trophy is now Springtron or Ribbon Girl. Hey, if we get Lin playable, maybe the assist trophy is now Ryoma. If it's Tiki, maybe the assist trophy is now Naui. You can do that pretty easily.
If it's the Black Knight, maybe it's the Death Knight.
True.
Yeah.
But couldn't you also do a thing like if the character's on stage, like the assist trophy can't appear?
There is that for some assist trophies. Like, Claptrap cannot be summoned on Jungle Japes or Congo Falls. And, trying to find another one here. The Moon can't be summoned on Great Bay or Captain on any of the Animal Crossing stages.
I mean, like maybe there's something to do. If you're playing with items anyway, you don't have to worry about balance, I guess. But like you guys said, it could be easily replaced, especially with Fire Emblem. Like I said, it's an easy like swap.
Yep.
If it's the Black Knight, maybe it's a fail.
What?
Is it fail? Like his you mean like his that's like his real name, right? Is that what you're talking about? The Red Knight.
Spoiler alert for a game that's 15 years old.
I was actually thinking like a good replacement for Black Knight could be like Hector or even post time skip Edelgard.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Like Hector is a heavy unit, especially in Binding Blade. Like he's general. That would even be a way if Edelgard and Hector were both playable in some world with that. Edelgard could be more of a leaner axe user that operates in that sort of way, and Hector could be a slower moving unit that's heavily armored. That sort of thing. But yeah, Hector could be a good replacement for Black Knight, dishing out heavy blows, being heavily armored. It makes sense. Or for the sake of it, you can also just keep Black Knight in that position to make Hector. So there's a lot of ways to take it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but and then of course my number one favorite Fire Emblem character that I would like to see playable though is 8-bit Marth. He plays like Marth, but he's 8-bit.
But
Now,
why?
I don't know about you. That would be great. That's why.
Just the fifth Marth.
Ugh.
Yes, but also the original Marth.
True, I guess.
You know what? I'm going to say this. I want Pantsless Marth alt, please, from his original design. Come on.
Oh, there you go. And
That'd
the
be funny as hell.
heroes too. Pantsless Marth.
Oh god.
I think that we're kind of nearing the end. But before we go, I would like to say, first of all, before we close out the Fire Emblem discussion, rather, let's just toss this out here for the heck of it. Who is your most wanted Fire Emblem character for Smash?
Let's go first.
Before Byleth got added, I would have said Edelgard.
Me too.
And if I could replace Byleth with Edelgard, I would still say that. But I'm going to assume that we still keep the same 8, and it's just a 9th one that's being added to the list. And in that case, I'm going to say Tiki.
Good choice. How about you, Eric? Who you
I
can
would
also
say.
rearrange the letters in Eric's name to spell rice.
Oh, okay. Uh, I think Hector from Blazing Sword. Just like I really want like the weapon triangle to be in the game, like. And Hector's like such a cool character, and also FE7 doesn't have the character yet. It could have been Lynn too, like Lynn Hector, very close, but I always had like a bias for Hector.
Good choice.
But that's
Right.
just like a fan
Good
favorite,
choice.
not a realistic one.
Yeah.
Just biased.
Right. You know what? At this point, I'm actually going to go with upgrading Lynn from Insist Trophy to a playable character.
Good choice, dude. Good choice.
Yeah. So there you have it. A solid trio. If I were going for a total pipe dream, I'd probably like Nurgle or Ronov, but just trying to be a little. Nevertheless, then, maybe we should talk a little bit about our next episode too.
We're not canceled yet?
Unfortunately, no, we're not.
How?
Because
we pissed off every Fire Emblem fan today.
Not me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless I rewatch it and I get pissed off.
Let me apologize. We pissed off all the Fire Emblem Fates and Byleth fans today.
Also true. Good
All
thing
five
there's
of you.
only a few of them. Yeah, and as for Eric, we've just kind of routinely pissed him off over the course of many years. So it's okay. That's what friends do. No, we're not canceled yet because we're our sovereignty. So we can kind of decide when we're canceled or not. Maybe we're canceled tomorrow. Okay. And I say we're not. And, so long as I'm a part of this family and it takes everyone to cancel it, we're still doing it. Anyway, the next episode is going to be a Smashtopia. Unfortunately, not with our pal Eric /Rice/Flamezone. But it's going to include a pal of Lister's named Ol Mike, who I'm not sure, does he have a username that he goes by?
He's got a couple, but his more common is Way Off Trail.
Alright. We're gonna hit the Way Off Trail and find Ezio Auditore de Firenze on the other side. And a new Smashtopia where we workshop his moveset, reflective of should he ever get into Smash. And I know Eric will be listening to that one as an Assassin's Creed fan. So
that's a great pick for the Assassin's Creed series. Like I think that would be like the one to choose.
That's what I've tended to see from most people say is that if you're going to include somebody from Assassin's Creed, it's got to be Ezio.
I mean, he got a trilogy, and he's a great character.
Right. They spent a lot of time cultivating his series and his character to the point where it was kind of controversial when they left it. So, yeah, it's a great character. It's going to be a lot of fun. Lister and I are also preparing for the development and soon to be, or relatively soon, I'm actually not sure about the time frame. The point is we're thinking about putting on a live Q&A. So that's going to be brand new, and we will come at you with more of a platform, more of a sense of an idea of where we're going to host it and what the exact format is going to be over the course of probably these next few episodes, finally culminating in a date. It's going to be a fun time. Just keep it in your mind. And aside from that, really just want to thank Eric for joining us today. It's, I made sure to get in a good nap before this episode because I knew it was going to be a great one, and I wanted to be totally alert. So, yeah, just thanks for coming around, old pal. We should definitely do it again. It was a fun episode to have you.
Yeah, that was a
series that we all. Yeah, and I know there was some trepidation beforehand where I've never been on a professional podcast before, but don't worry. For starters, we're not professional. And secondly, I don't know, it's just fun catching up with friends. It's something you never really realize we don't do often enough until we finally get back in a room together and things start just flowing like they always have.
It's very true.
Yeah, it's been a fun time. And before we close out though, are there any thoughts that you wanted to share with everyone?
Zola for Smash.
No, not that. But no, it was lots of fun.
For Smash.
No, like I've never done anything like this, like podcast format or anything. It's just like it's a good experience to have, and just also just fun and talk with you guys and catch up on something we're all passionate about, Fire Emblem and Smash Bros. Like what a combo there. Lots of different thoughts. It was fun. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for agreeing to join us knuckleheads. I don't know why you would. You've been a friend for so long. I guess it's just kind of what to take from us. So I really appreciated having you on. We should do it again sometime.
All right, now get back in your cage.
Yes, master.
Oh boy, what an ending.